Hi guys, so DIY beauty today, and I'm sure this subject is interesting for most women because once you learn how to wax yourself, you never go back to the salon. At least I never really went to the salon. I learned to wax myself, and I only ever went to the salon when I couldn't wax myself for whatever reason. So it's great to learn to wax yourself because then you don't have to go to the salon. It's embarrassing if you're doing the bikini line because it's a stranger, and yeah, it's just weird. So these are going to be my tips on how to give yourself a Brazilian and how to wax any part of your body. So the first thing you want to think about is which wax you're going to go for, and of course if you want more something that's really practical and convenient, then of course go for the your standard cold wax strips, and that's what I used to use for many years. And yeah, they're really good. They're really practical. They're good a good choice to get started if you're not used to waxing yet. And I don't use them anymore, but the reason I don't use them is because when I moved to Brazil, I wanted to buy them, but they were too expensive. They were just ridiculously expensive. So I tried hot wax, and I haven't looked back ever since then, because the thing is, in comparison to the cold wax strips, because you're using hot wax on your skin, it helps to dilate the pores, so it doesn't hurt as much when your hair is getting ripped out of its follicle. So I definitely recommend hot wax over the cold waxing strips if you want to give that a go. Maybe if you're like doing it for the first time, I think I would recommend the cold wax strips, so you can just get used to the motions and the whole thing with waxing and everything. But I have to say hot wax is definitely better than the cold wax strips. So something that's really important when you do buy hot wax is to make sure it's a wax that comes off easily with warm water or oil. And I had a really big problem with this when I came back to the UK last year. I tried a different brand because I didn't bring the wax use that I usually use in Brazil, and the wax didn't come off. Like any residue that was left on my skin, I couldn't remove it with the oil, warm water. Nothing would remove it, so I was left like with bits of wax on my skin for weeks on end, like until it gradually just came off. So make sure you choose a hot wax that the wax can come off easily. And I'm gonna have to find a good wax now that I'm back in the UK. And I was researching online, and I think one that does come off with water, or that comes off easily, is the Nair wax brand. But obviously I haven't tried it yet, so I'm not gonna like confirm that or anything. So if anyone knows of any hot wax so they recommend, then definitely leave your comments down below. If you are in Brazil and interested in knowing what brand I used this one. It's called Depili There, and for me this was the best one. Looks like that, Depili There. And when you heat up the wax, a lot of time you can buy wax that it comes with a like the heater thing, and you plug it in and everything, but you don't really need that. When I was in Brazil, I didn't have a microwave, so I just did it the old traditional way, where you heat up water and leave the wax in a bowl or a pan with hot water and wait for the wax to heat up. If you've got a microwave, obviously that's a lot quicker. Now I'm back in the UK, I just use a microwave, and like this would take around like maybe 10 minutes to be ready when I was using the hot water method. And now in the microwave it only takes like 10-15 seconds to heat up, and it's even too hot to use on my skin. I have to wait for it to cool down. And that's another really important point. Make sure if you're trying hot wax and you're not used to it, please be careful like with the heat of it. Don't make sure it's cooled down enough to use on your skin, because if you use hot wax you can burn your skin. If it's not cooled down enough, if it's too hot, you will burn your skin. So really be careful if you're trying hot wax for the first time. So yeah, that's the kind of wax that I recommend, the hot wax. Other than it hurting less, you can remove a lot more hair at the same time, and in comparison to using the strips, because obviously you can apply it to a larger area. So yeah, I recommend the hot wax. If you haven't tried it yet, then give it a go, but be careful with the temperature. So before you wax your skin, you have to make sure it's prepared and ready to be waxed. And something you can do, you can exfoliate like before, like the day before you do it, but it's not really necessary. Like, I'm really lazy, I don't bother exfoliating. But if you want a nice finish, then exfoliate your skin, because then it will help to bring up any hair that's maybe like buried under like a light layer of skin or anything, but it's not really that necessary. um, but what is really important is to make sure that your skin doesn't have any oily residue on it or anything, so no body creams or oils. So do not use any like body products before you're waxing, like the day before. If you think that your skin has some kind of residue on it, then put some talcum powder on it and it should be fine for the waxing. Something else that you have to do, if you're gonna wax your bikini line and try and give yourself a Brazilian Hollywood, whatever, make sure that the hair isn't too long, because if it's too long, it will be really difficult to wax. Like, the wax will get stuck to the hair, it won't remove properly when you try to remove the strip. So make sure that the hair is trimmed if it's a bit too long. So once you're ready to wax, apply a nice layer. It doesn't have to be too thick, it doesn't have to be too thin or anything. I definitely say just don't let it be too thick, but apply in the direction that the hair is growing. So for example, if it's on your arm, this direction is the hair that grows here is in this direction, the hair that grows here is in a different direction. So make sure you're applying it in the right direction. So again, for another example is your underarms. Your underarms, the hair on this part grows in a different direction than the hair underneath there. So make sure you're not applying it against the hair growth. It has to be in the same direction as the hair growth. So you're laying the hair down, and once you've applied the wax, then apply the wax strip if you're using the hot wax, and remove it in like the opposite direction of the hair growth in a really fast motion and as close as possible to the skin. So for example, you wouldn't remove it like in a 90 degrees like that, or kind of like that. Then you remove it as close as possible to the skin and really quickly, to make sure you get off all the wax and get off all the hair that the wax is stuck to. If you don't do it in that way, like, you will leave wax on your skin. It will hurt because you haven't removed all the wax and all the hair, and so it's not efficient enough to get all the wax off if you don't lie the strip like really low and pull it off really quickly. If you don't pull it off quickly, you'll get left with wax on your skin, and you have to go over that area again, and it'll be painful because you just did it. So I think to remember to keep it close as possible to the skin and remove it as quickly. Another important thing is to make sure you're holding your skin taut. Obviously, if you're doing like your arm or something, you can't really do that. But when you're doing your bikini line, your underarm, if you do your legs and everything, then when you remove the wax, make sure one hand is holding the skin taut while the other one will be removing the wax strip. Because if you don't hold your skin taut, you'll just yank your skin basically, and you'll be left with wax on your skin again. So make sure you're pulling your skin really taut. Is anything else? No, I think that's it. Once you've removed all the hair, you want to use a finishing product to help calm down the skin. So you can use body cream if you've done your legs, but like for bikini line, I usually use something like aloe vera if I do use any product. Obviously do this once you've taken off any excess wax, and you'll take it off with body oil or a warm flannel, a damp warm flannel. There's something else I was gonna mention. Oh yeah, if you're doing a Brazilian, a Hollywood, your bikini line, of course you have to make sure that you can see what you're doing. So you're gonna use a mirror and put yourself in the position that's necessary for you to be able to pull the wax strip off from your skin while still holding your skin taut and everything and doing everything in the right way. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a big mirror. It can be like a smaller size mirror. Obviously not a tiny mirror, but I mean like a smaller size, like kind of this size. But you just have to make sure you're in a position that's comfortable for you, where you can see what you're doing and you can still do the waxing efficiently while you can still see what you're doing. So you will have to practice a lot, yeah. If you're not used to it, you will have to practice a lot until you get the hang of what position is best for you. Yeah, I think that's it really. If you have any questions, then leave them in the comments down below, or any products you think are good, then leave them in the comments down below for everyone to see. Another thing I have to say about like the whole hair removal thing, if you're someone who like removes the hairs on your arms and maybe even your midriff, I might do a video about hair bleaching, because I've never really removed the hair. I've on my arms, I've only done it like a couple of times because I think it's really painful. And other than that, in Brazil it's not really common to do that. It's common to bleach the hair. So if you'd like to see a video on bleaching body hair, then let me know, because that's what I do. I've never really removed it with wax or anything. But yeah, you shouldn't expect like a whole month of hair free skin. The hair will start growing back quite quickly. So what I do to maintain it is to remove any new hair with my epilator. So yeah, that's it, I think. Like I said, any questions, leave them down below. Give me a thumbs up if you found this video useful, helpful, and subscribe if you haven't yet. And I'll see you next time. Bye.